Hello, on this video we're going to explore functions using the TI-84 Plus. This is a video that I made of myself using the TI-84 software on my computer. Now, suppose we want to explore the function absolute value of x plus 2 minus 3. I'm going to hit zoom 6 and look at the graph. Notice it's a V shape. You may or may not be familiar with that already. Now remember, when we're exploring functions we care about key features. Now that little point I just circled is called a vertex, and it happens to be at the bottom of the graph, so it's a minimum. Now notice the calculator wants me to enter a left bound. So I need to get to the left side of the point I'm looking for and hit enter. And it builds this wall. Now I'm going to go to the right side and build a wall. That's the right boundary. And then it wants me to make a guess. And then I hit enter and it gives me the minimum, which is also called the vertex. So -2, -3 is the vertex. Now the next thing we're going to look for are the zeros. Now remember, the zeros are where the graph crosses the x-axis. The first thing we have to do is get a left bound. So we're getting to the left side of that point, hitting enter, building that wall, moving to the right side, hitting enter to build another wall, and then we're going to make a guess somewhere between the two walls. And we find a zero at -5, 0. There's another zero on the other side of the graph. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to stop on the left side of it and build my wall, move to the right and build a wall. And I'm going to make a guess, and the calculator is going to zero in on that zero, no pun intended. So 1, 0 is another x-intercept for this particular graph. Now another thing that we're supposed to find is the y-intercept. Now you'll notice there is no command for y-intercept. So the y-intercept always occurs when x is 0. So if you go to the table of values by hitting second, I'll get there in a minute. That's it, 0, -1. So I got lucky, I moved to it, but look at the table. In the table of values, you're always going to find a 0 in the x column unless someone's really messed with your table. So there's the 0. That's -5, the x-intercept. And there's the x-intercept 1. But right above it is 0, -1. And that's the y-intercept. Now, decreasing. It decreases on the left. So as I move from left to right, I'm going to trace the graph. I'm going to start way over here on the left, and I'm going to start moving down the graph. Now, take a look at the y value. It's 3.6-ish. As I move to the right, it's getting smaller and smaller, all the way down to the vertex. The y value just keeps dropping, more and more negative now. And then when I hit the vertex, the graph starts increasing. So if you again will look at those y values, right now I'm at -2-ish. As I keep moving to the right, those numbers get bigger and bigger. So now the function is increasing. All right, we're going to clear out this first function and we're going to type in another one. Now, I believe this is the one where I used fractions. So I'm going to hit, I make a few mistakes here, but I'm going to hit alpha and then y equals. I'm going to choose number 1, and it creates that fraction structure. 2/3 times x minus alpha y equals. Build that fraction. So 1/3, oops. So we're going to delete that. So I need to do 1 and then down arrow 3. There's my 1/3. And now I hit graph or zoom 6, one of the two. Now notice this is a straight line. And as such, it doesn't have a bottom or a minimum, and it doesn't have a top or a maximum. Now it does have an x-intercept and a y-intercept. So the x-intercepts are called zeros. So we're going to go second calc, number 2. We're going to build a wall on the left. We're going to build a wall on the right. And then make a guess, and it zeroes in on the 0, 0.5, comma 0. That's my only x-intercept actually. Now to find the y-intercept, we're going to go straight to the table. And we're looking for 0 in the x column. So 0 is going to be down there somewhere. Numbers are getting bigger as we go down. So 0 corresponds to the y-intercept of negative 1/3. Now I'm going to go way to the left, and as I move to the right, I see that my y value gets bigger and bigger and bigger, which is the hallmark of an increasing function. Of course, you can just look at it and say, okay, it's going uphill, it's an increasing function. All right, clearing that out. My next function is x squared minus 2x plus 1. I'm going to hit graph, and I'll see that shape we learned in the last video. That's called a parabola. This one is, U-shaped facing up. So this is a parabola. It has a vertex down there at the bottom. And that vertex also happens to be a minimum. So let's go ahead and find that minimum. Oh, it looks like I'm using the 0 command. So I'm finding the 0. I've built my 2 walls, and I see that my 0 is 1, 0. See that 9 right there at the end? That's rounding error because the calculator is, it's a dumb machine. It's super fast and super accurate, but it's pixelated, so it's going to sometimes have to approximate. Notice that 0 corresponds to a y value of 1. So that's my y-intercept, and then 1, comma 0 is my x-intercept. Now we're going to move way to the left, and then we're going to start moving to the right. Watch your y value. It's decreasing. It's getting smaller, so it's going down, decreasing, until we hit that vertex right there. And then that y value is going to start getting larger, because now the function is increasing. Okay, so this was a video using the TI-84 to find key features of functions. Thank you for watching.